Shout out to Brother Blue Pill and Red Pill, the twin pillars. I got this t-shirt from them. This was the first shirt that I got from them. I've gotten a couple pieces. And shout out to all the street vendors uptown, everybody who is doing business, you know, doing their own thing. I keep hearing, like, trust the process, trust the process, trust the progress. You know, it shouldn't be so daunting to somebody, for somebody to recognize that there is room for improvement in certain categories of life. We're all evolving. I find it kind of interesting sometimes that people really want to expedite these things. Like, we need you to improve on these things immediately. And, you know, it's interesting. It's kind of interesting. Like, no, these are your flaws, and we need you to improve on those flaws immediately. And you might be like, well, I thought, you know, the priority was to improve on these flaws. You know, I was working on this. No, we need you to spend time on that. Either way, aesthetics. When we talk about aesthetics briefly, I posted on my Instagram that the trends often are not taking our personal well-being and our health into consideration. Our hair, our nails, our lashes, all of these things are being consumed by us. And are we the ones who are benefiting the most from these things? Chemicals. If you remember, before the mask mandate, you went into the nail salon, all the people that were operating the nail salon all had masks on. What do they know about the chemicals that are going on to your nails? You know, I was talking to a relative who is in the medical field, who said that the circle right above your cuticles indicates a lot of things about your health status, specifically cancer, how prone to cancer you are. But we have gel polish and we have, you know, acrylics that cover these things up. Our hair and the dyes, and our skin is the largest organism that we have on our body, and it's, you know, we perspire, but we also consume through our pores. So all of the lotions and the creams that you put on are also being eaten. Your skin is eating those things up and it's going into your bloodstream. Do we know? You know, in theory, the things that we put on our skin should be able to be eaten by us in our mouths. In theory, do we know the stuff that we're putting on our bodies? Do we know the chemicals that are in all of the things that we are consuming? And when people go to the doctor and they say there's fibroids, or there's something that is damaging to the womb, or there's something going on that, you know, a tumor or a knot in the breast or things like that, the deodorant that you're putting on, all of the products that we use and all the ways that we beautify ourselves, are they damaging to us, our well-being? I know that a lot of things are keeping up with the Joneses. You know, in our culture, it's about your hair and things like that. And you'll have sisters, and I'm blessed that I believe I've reached a certain level of maturity, that I can listen to things and not let it too much sink into this beautiful big brain of mine. But they'll talk about your hair and say, oh, you need to get your hair done. And it's now we are kind of competing for things that aren't even really healthy for us. You know what I mean? So we have to question everything. We have to question who benefits from these trends. We have to question who creates these trends. We go into the stores, we see the kids' clothing. It's very tight clothes for our young girls. It's very tight clothes for our young boys. I don't know who is the designer of these kids' clothes that's making these kids' clothes so tight. You know, plus with the diet, a lot of the 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds are eating things like chicken, milk, and they're growing breasts and hips and thighs and butts early. They're curvaceous. And then the parents are putting them in these tight clothes. Who's trying to sexualize our children? Who's making these clothes for the children? So when we talk about aesthetics, we just have to really begin to understand that it is also up to us as creators of the culture, as contributors to the culture, that we have the power to shape the culture, and that means how we present ourselves to the world. I'm not going to be naive and say that women will ever not want to beautify ourselves. We'll always want to beautify ourselves, but the question is, what are the standards of beauty, and who defines those standards? Peace.